Life Education in Action, 2 Minutes for Life, number 10. Today we're in 2 Kings 17, 30 and 31. Before I go there, I want to talk about a couple of New Testament stories that are important to this passage. You will remember the Good Samaritan. It's a very famous story that Jesus told when he was trying to explain the answer to the question, who is your neighbor? A man was injured by the road, had been waylaid, and because of his injuries, he was in a bad way. And several people walked by him and didn't help him, but a Samaritan man did. And Jesus asked the question, who was this guy's neighbor? And they said, well, the Samaritan was. You may also remember the famous story of the woman at the well. She was also Samaritan. And because she was a woman and Samaritan, she was surprised that Jesus would have a conversation with her at all. See, the reason was, in the time of Jesus, the Jerusalem Jews held them in disdain, the Samaritans, because they were sort of mixed with other people. And that's what this passage in 2 Kings is describing. So you have this Assyrian king who is trying to integrate the people under his kingship. So he took people from Samaria, from Israel, out and put them in other places, and then he brought people from other places into Israel. And this passage is describing that. Now they would come into Israel and they set up their own gods there. And so a certain people group set up another god. These are all hard names, but I'm going to read this passage, 2 Kings 17, 30 and 31. The people from Babylon that had brought into Assyria, the people from Babylon made Sukkoth Benoth, those from Kuthah made Nergal, and those from Hamath made Ashima. The Avvites made Nibhaz and Tartak, and the Sepharvites burned their children in the fire as sacrifices to Adrammelek and Anammelek, the gods of Sepharvaim. So they brought child sacrifice back into Israel. It was already in Israel. That's why God had let the Assyrians overrun them. So God says he hated child sacrifice. He was the God of life, and all of these other forms of worship that other people had, these false gods that they worshiped, had some prescription for child sacrifice, but not God. He said, I never mentioned it, I never commanded it, and the thought would never cross my mind. That's how he distinguished himself from the other false gods in ancient times. He is the God of life. So that's 2 Kings chapter 17, verses 30 and 31. Go look it up. We'll see you at the next video.